This is Richard back at you. Today we got a 2005 Chevrolet Z71 four-wheel drive, no third gear. So we know the 3/4 clutch is burned out of it, and it's going to have to come out. The fluid smells really, really bad. So let's get started. So we have aluminum drive shaft here. These are the ones you really can't get a socket on here to get the bolts and stuff out. You have a strap bolt system. We use a little shorty wrench because some of the bolts you get in the way in the gas tank, or the wrench does, and it's hard to get it out. So that's how we do it. We use a little shorty wrench, 7/16. Now we do mark these shafts before we take them out with just a slight touch of paint. That way we know we can put it right back in the same way it goes. So now we will be looking at the U-joints and stuff, even though when we get it out, that way we verify they are in good shape. We want to look at everything that's going to affect our work. So what we got here, the transfer case has already been drained, so we don't have to drain it. The fluid looked pretty dark. We're going to get in here and probably call him and see if he wants to maybe put the pump guard in here and new seals and stuff like that before it does damage or anything like that, since we're doing all this work. So 4L60E, these are a pretty good job to get out. So let's get started. So what we're going to do first, we're going to come over here. We'll do the front up here first. Peyton. Now we do have a new camera person today. Peyton, I want to thank you. There you go. I appreciate you. Teresa's busy. Now we unhooked the level sensor on the pan for the oil. Now you can tell here somebody's already tried to rewire it. Plugs are a little jicky and stuff like that. So we're going to get that out of the way. We'll look at it before we put it back, plug it back in to make sure the wires ain't short or anything like that. If it is, we need to correct it anyway for the customer. So it'll probably throw a check engine light. And we're going to pull a little 10mm bolt here. It's for a plastic guard right here. We're just going to loosen that. Now we've already undone the battery. We've already done a computer check. We've already pulled the oil dipstick tube out. That way we can get the starter out of the way and get to the torque converter bolts. So, got our 2 torque converter bolts. Now we had a big snowstorm come through here, blizzard actually. Did a lot of damage around town. This truck's draining everywhere. You can see it here on the floor. There. The bed's full of snow. The windshield's covered in snow. So it's got snow everywhere. So go over here and get a little bit bigger gun. Some of these bolts are so rusted. Get that one in there, it'll get it out. Let me tell you, this thing works really nice. Now we like to put all the nuts back on the bolts and stuff like that. Me and Trent pull them all the exact same way. That way, if he has to put the tranny back in, or I have to put it back in, we know where all the bolts are and how we pulled it out. We do it identical, basically. So now we got plenty of room to push our starter back. We could take it, pull it down right through here, and get it plumb out of the way. We got our guard off to keep any trash from getting into the torque converter. We'll get our inspection covers off. There's 2 of them, right? One big one, one little one. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get in here and look at these torque converter bolts and see where they're at, because it's, can you put the camera, get up in here really close. Can you see them? Keep going. Keep going. All the way around the corner there. I don't know if you can see them bolts in there. We're going to be getting that one right there, and there's two more. So that's what we're going to be getting. So let's get these out really quick. There's a lot of water coming down there. Got right in my ear. Like I said, you got to get these just right because there's a piece of the block in there. It's really hard to get the socket around, but that's it. These things here got Loctite on them still from the factory. This unit doesn't look like it's ever been out, so. Now you can see these bolts here are the new version. They got an Allen style inner and a 15 millimeter outer. The first design had the Allen only, and it was a round head, and they stripped out real easy, and then you had a hard time getting the bolt out. So GM got smart, made them a universal where they had the Allen and the 15 millimeter, and we quit having as many issues. Sometimes we still can't get them out. We have to heat the flange on the converter, or the converter bolt screws in to bust that Loctite loose, and then we can get them out. Okay, there's all three of our torque converter bolts. Got a cover off here, starters hanging down out of the way, a converter back so you can see what the converter spacing looks like. Okay, Peyton, come over and look at, can you shine this up, the camera up in there? I'll shine the light. See right there? And she's still learning. Okay, see that gap right there, guys?
There you go.
That's the gap we're trying to take up. Right now, that's almost 1/4 of an inch. We can take and put an 1/8 inch washer in there with no problem and get that converter that much farther back into the pump. So that's a converter spacing we're talking about. So big issue, guys. Even GM puts them out there. So let me get my gloves on really quick so we get started again. This thing is raining raindrops everywhere. I got water running down my back. Now these two bolts here mount the case to the oil pan, so they are a little bit different. You want to make sure you keep them apart from any other bolt. So. Oh, I'd say it just, hey, I could have a snowball fight now. But we're trying to get this out before it just starts raining like crazy on us, so. Okay. We're going to come in here and get the cross member bolts out right here, the 15 millimeters. These bolts are special too. Oops. Now they have a washer made to them. There's 2 of them. So they put them over here all by themselves. That way Trent knows where they're at. And we're going to come over and get our cross member bolts out. Ooh. Kind of an odd angle to get to because of the exhaust. It makes it really hard to get in here. So the impact's at an odd angle. Everything's at a really odd angle. See if it'll get it out this time. It's too big of an angle. It keeps kicking the wobble out. So I'm going to have to drop my exhaust down on that side so I can get a straight shot at it. Okay, now we're going to come back here, go ahead and get our rear drive shaft totally out. It's just been setting up in here. These are usually in pretty tight. So when we pull it out, usually it leaks a little bit, but it's been setting a while, so got lucky there. You see here where that seal, it's kind of weird, the seal's been getting the yoke hot, looks like. Or it could be part of the bushing, but this yoke's been getting hot, like this thing's run low on fluid before. So, okay. Let's get the jack over here. And we've already got all of our exhaust bolts loose. Most of them we have to, if we soak them and we can't get them out, we will heat them with a torch and just get one side of the flange on the nut hot, and then we can bust them loose, but it's really hard to do. Some of them are almost impossible to get out. You'll break the stud off in the manifold and then you're in trouble. So. Now we're going to get all of our O2 sensors busted loose. Some of these I've already broke loose because some of them are pretty tough to get. But 7/8 wrench, you can bust them all loose. There's going to be 4 of them. You got a downstream and a front stream. Now this front one right here, anytime I go to get these things loose, this front one up here is really tough to get to. Hard to get with a, see if I can shine a light on it. Can you see this one right here? That one there is really hard to get to. So what we do is we use this right here. It works really good. You can turn it, you can bend this ratchet any direction you want to get it. It works really good. I've already got them all busted loose. I should be able to just turn it and get it out there. So. And by the way, that's called a crow's foot. I didn't mention that. That's what we call them. I don't know where they got their name. I guess they look like a crow's foot. There's our O2 sensor there. One here, one over here, one over here. We got 4 of them. So we've got our 15mm nuts loose here with exhaust attaches to the back. We've got 1 here still left on the exhaust. We got 1 still here left on the exhaust. What I'm going to do is relax it. I'm going to pull that front drive shaft out really quick. Raining on my jack there. These out. Okay. And we're also going to put just a little bit of paint on this one here, just so that way I know where it went. Okay. Now this had a band right here, a little metal band. I'll show you. I can show you here, Peyton, right here. Come over here. Shine up through here. This band that used to be right there. See, there's a band there. There used to be one there. It looks like this. Now we'll be putting another one back on there. Well, I still want to look at this boot, make sure it ain't cracked or anything like that, because they're bad about filling up with water and locking this jaw shaft from sliding back and forth in this transfer case. So these are always a bear to get off. They've gotten hard. They've shrunken. You just can't push them off hardly sometimes. Oops, excuse me, let me step on you. There we go. You can come over this way, Peyton. Shine up here and see that right there. It does have some grease in there still. But definitely want to grease it back. We'll put the drive shaft back, clean it up, put some fresh grease in there, put a new band on there. So check your U-joints and stuff like that. U-joints feel really good, actually. Probably don't ever use four-wheel drive. Okay. Let's jack it up. Let's get the cross member out, and then we'll pull the exhaust off, and then we'll start removing the pan. And I like to put the jack right over here on the corner. That way when I take the exhaust off and stuff, it's out, plumb out of the way, the jack is. So, but what we're going to do, we got to drop this exhaust on this side first so I can get a straight shot at this one bolt. So let's get this off there. Put it over there. And then we're going to come over here and move this one. So now we have all of our 3 bolts off our exhaust, all 4 of our O2 sensors off. And now the exhaust is out of the way right here to where I can get this impact in there and get that socket back on there, hopefully. Still a really tight fit, but we're going to try it. Let's see. Throw my gloves, guys. Might have to go get another one. There we go. Brand new. Okay. Any further, I'm going to start putting my glasses on. Don't see any really dirt falling off or anything, but I think I'm going to start putting them on now. I'm getting more around the exhaust and stuff, so. Get our mount off here. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to relax this, right? Well, let's see. How am I going to do this? Actually, I'm not. I'm already unhooked from the exhaust. Everything should just come off, hopefully.
It doesn't allow the tranny to go high enough, just saying. But yeah, you're good. Oh, he's rusty. Did he say that? No.
I'm rusty.
He's not rusty.
Hey, they're all different.
No, they all are different because sometimes you can get them off without pulling that side cover.
Oh, you can.
You can. 100%.
Yep.
I guarantee you the body is probably smashed down.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a dirty one.
I'm down, yeah. That's why I put my glasses on, because I start seeing dirt.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm
So,
going back to
put
my
my
6
glasses
speed. Y'all gotta stay tuned on that one.
Okay, we got it relaxed. Transfer case sits right here on the frame. Everything's nice and open. We'll come over here and disconnect our connector. You can take and squeeze this. You can do it with your hand or you can do it with a pair of pliers. Side to side right there. There's two little spots. And then you want to come in here and look at your connector and see if there's any fluid in it. It looks really dry, so, but definitely you want to look at that. Now you see your cooler line right here. Now we had a video the other day that we did a 300-mile, a gentleman had 300 miles on it, and the cooler line popped off at the radiator, and this piece right here, this little plastic piece right here, he didn't put on. And when you don't put that on, it allows the cooler line to slide back just enough and let that clip right there come out. So you have to put them on there. That's what keeps the retainer in. If you don't, the cooler lines can still pop out. That's what happened to the gentleman who killed a brand new 480E. So if you can't put that on there, if it breaks and falls off, a lot of them do, you can take and put a tie strap, a good tie strap around there, and it'll act as the same thing. It don't take much pressure, it just takes just a little bit. So. We're going to get our speed sensors off the transfer case. You can see one here. Then you're going to have another one over here. And then you're going to come over here, you're going to have another one in the front. See that right there? You're going to have another one there. What I'm going to do is there's two 10-millimeter bolts. One's right here. It holds the wiring harness to the transfer case. And then there's going to be another one up farther up the transfer case that has one too. So I have to come all the way back up here to get to this one. And there's that one there. We'll set them over here together, that way Trent knows where they're at. We got all of our wiring harness, our vent tube hose for our transfer case. Gonna pull this wiring harness down. Now we have a connector over here. Oops. That you have to unplug too. See this over here, Peyton? Come to the side. Look at this direction here. And it's got a guard on it that keeps it from unplugging or unclipping. Once you get that out of the way, then you can actually unlock the plug. You can push on this. It's really hard. They get to push on. They get brittle and everything like that. What I like to do is I'll come in here from the back side, take a small screwdriver, and stick up in here and unlock it. It just always seems to be easier doing it that way. Another way it unplugs. This here, you can push on it, it's just so hard. It just never wants to unlock. It usually wants to break. So, okay, now we're gonna get in here and pop our transfer case vent tube right here. It's kind of hard to see. It's just got a little elbow that pops in the top. You just got to be really gentle with it. That way you don't break it. It will come unplugged. You can look at it right here. There it is. Just be real gentle with it and it'll come unplugged. Okay. Okay, now we got our shifter cable right here. We'll just pop it off. Now you notice it's broken or something right here. We don't know. He's got a hose clamp on it. We're going to take it loose and look and see what we got going on here. Because this will make the shifter floppy, not going to park, not start in neutral, and the shifter cable's actually broke. The locks that hold the cable in, you can see one on right here. It's like it's just folded back into itself. It's not there no more. So I like to push this out of the way. Now we're going to come over here and undo our neutral safety switch. Now when you unplug the lock on this, you just pull it out. When you want to unplug this, you just pull this down and it'll spit it out. Look at that, real simple. Okay. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to get this 10 millimeter, or excuse me, this 8 millimeter little bolt right here that holds the fuel lines and the vent tubes and wiring harness and all that type of stuff to the transfer case, or to the transmission. I like using this one here because it's a real low torque, low speed. These bolts, you hit them too hard, taking them out, they'll just snap right off. So I like to just use this just because it's really soft on these things. See, look at that. I mean, it's hard to see me using it, but it's really soft. When it takes that bolt out, it won't snap it off in there. Or if it does think it's going to, it just stops. Really nice tool here. So some tools I keep in here, I keep them set up just for certain things because we do so many of them that it makes it easier just to grab it out of the drawer and go with it. So now we have our lines here unhooked. Everything looks good there. We still have one more dust cover here we can take off on the side. That way it gives you a little bit of access to get in here too, to pop the transmission back. That way you can get it off the motor. That water hit me almost in the eye. I feel like I'm getting a bath. So, and we'll come over here and bend this bracket just a little bit, get it out of the way from the pan. You can see somebody's already done it once, but we do it that way. That torque bolt up there, I broke so many torque sockets trying to get them out of the case, I just give up. I can bend it easier than replacing the torque sockets. It just seems like they want to break every time. So, okay, got everything there. So all we like now is our cooler lines, bell housing bolts, and getting the transfer case off and looking in the pan. I'm excited. I want to look in the pan. So, fluid smells pretty raunchy. Unfortunately, I'm going to drain it towards this direction. Now they just serviced it. You can tell the pretty pan, the paint job on the pan. So, not sure what we're really going to find. For this pan just being off, it ain't looking good, is it, Peyton? This thing does not look good. Look at that, guys. So, this is what we get into. I have to build this tranny. I have to clean this thing up. Could you imagine what it takes to clean one of these trannies up, guys, and build this? And you wonder why I don't do build videos, because I am cleaning for hours. I could build the tranny in half the time if I didn't have to clean it. But try to clean all that metal out of this tranny and not leave one speck back in a brand new tranny. I mean, that's how critical it is when you clean this. The cooling system. If you don't clean the cooling system good on this thing, I mean, it's got to be thorough. So, that's where you're at. Don't look real good at all. So, I got everything back here to fix all this stuff, not a problem. It's just, when your tranny gives up, guys, give up. You know what I mean? Leave something for the builder to put together. Hey, we got the right filter, deep pan. Pan ain't beat up or anything like that. So, okay. I'm gonna wipe all this excess off where it don't drip on my hairdo. Okay. We're gonna move this back over here, Peyton. This is probably gonna be our new photographer for the summer, guys. She's down here for spring break, right? She wants to make some extra money for her junior dragster. She's ready to go racing. Her mama actually went to go get her car.
She's back.
She's back. So, that's exciting. This top bolt right here usually is never tight. You can just get in here. I don't even think they tighten it from the factory. So it's usually real easy to get off. We use a little short ratchet wrench. You can't get up in there really with it. A whole lot of stuff unless you have a lot of wobbles and stuff. But if you don't like somebody, Loctite this nut on. Because this one, it can be a bear to get off sometimes. There you go. Same way with this one here. We like to. Huh. What did they do to me here? They put is it an 18 or 17? What did they do? It ain't the same size. I know that. Oh, it's just got a lot of dirt on it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, a lot of dirt. Oh. Hey, are you laughing? Was that funny? It kind of was, wasn't it?
A little.
These things get slippery. Gravity's not your friend all the time. So, and then we're going to have another one over here. It's basically in the same position. Come over this way, Peyton. You can see this one here. It's a hard one to get to. It's behind the transfer case. Just right down my forehead. It's like right into my eyes. Okay, that's those. So now we're going to grab this little gun right here that I like a lot. I'm waiting for my new Milwaukee air ratchet to come in. It should be here today. Man, I wish Robert would show up. It should be here today. I'm excited about that. Trent's already got one. But he said they're just like this. They're really powerful. Look at that. He's got the perfect design and stuff like that. So when I get my new air ratchet in, it's going to be really nice because they work really well. Trent won't let me borrow his though. He's being mean to me today. Robert should be bringing my new impact or my new ratchet today.
Oh, hey, I'm getting about 90 degrees today.
Are you really?
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. Trent, sir, you ready for a transfer case?
Here to save the day. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Saying I was stingy not letting borrow my impacts. Come on.
Hey, I still have one you don't have.
Yeah, he really does.
So
He's got two I don't have.
I got two you don't have?
Yeah, you have the M12, 3/8, and then you have the new M18.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah,
That sounds
exactly. Everything unhooked?
I believe so, sir.
Sweet.
I think we are in good shape.
See if we ate our Wheaties this morning.
Hey, you should have seen what was in this pan.
Is it bad?
Oh, is it bad, Peyton?
She
It's
says
bad.
it's bad.
It's
I want to
bad.
see her face.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
It would be a pretty paint job if it was on a car.
Oh,
Real pretty paint job.
that's wow. It has a bad smell.
Yes, it is. That's
Smell-o-vision's coming.
I was saying, when these computer control trainings have a problem, guys, stop, get it fixed. Don't drive until there's just nothing to repair.
Yes, sir.
That's usually what happens.
Right.
I mean, it's totally.
Okay. My 6-speed's halfway in, automatic. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come up here and pull the vent tube off. There's a little wire right here. You can just pull it off real easy. You can get your harness out of the way. Now we're going to come here to this other flange, or this protector that keeps the cooler line on. Take it off real gently. You don't want to break that. There you go. Okay. Got that one out of the way. You can see it there and see the other one there. Now I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab these clips and pull them out. And I got new glasses on, so I'm trying to get used to these too. Seeing where I'm going here. There it is. Okay, there's one. Oops, it fell. Now we're going to go for the other one. It's going to go upward. Can you see that right there? Now we'll put new clips and new seals and things in these fittings here, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, we'll let this down. Okay, put this over here. I'm going to go get a little tub real quick if I can find it. Or if I, here it is. It's actually an old milk crate we use to stand on. Works really good. Oh. Okay. Now we're going to go after the bell housing bolts, the retainer nuts that hold some of the wiring harnesses and stuff on. Get my light on here. Okay. And can you see that all the way up there, Peyton? Can you see that way up there? You can come over on this side, come through here. I'm going for that one all the way up there first. Now that bracket there holds the vent hoses and stuff for the transfer case and the transmission. It's got a little 13mm nut that holds onto a studded bolt. Watch, I dropped it. It's under my toolbox, but I'm going to get up and pull this off real quick. That way, kind of get it out of the way. Kind of see what that looks like. Now we're going to come over here, and you can see the dipstick tube. The nut that holds the dipstick tube to the transmission. Pull that off. Okay. And then we're going to try to push that up just like that. Push it out of the boot. You can see the boot right here, Peyton. I just pulled it out of the boot right there. You see that? Okay. Okay. Let's see if we got one more over here that we're going to have to get to. You can see it up here, all the way up there. We're going to have to get to that nut right there next. So, there we got the 13mm nut off. Put it over here where Trent knows where it's at. And then you can grab this right here. You can grab all this steel system and you can jerk it and pull it back and pull it off this stud just like that. And then you can take and push it up because you're going to have to get to that bolt right there. It's called a studded bolt all the way around. We're going to have to get to these next. So, okay, we're going to just let this loose for a second. Got a couple rags on the jack. We're going to jack it up, get up under it. Straps up where they don't hang on anything. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is, you notice I never undid my cooler lines. My cooler lines are still in. So if I try to pop them out right now, they'll be in a bind. They won't come out. You'll break it, you'll mess it up. So the best thing you can do, actually let me do it this way. It's not up far enough. I'm telling you, this is a common problem right here. You've got to get them cooler lines up like they're supposed to be. Then you can take your screwdriver and you can get in here and work these things and get them out. See that, how easy that popped out of there? Look at that. If that thing was hanging down, I'm telling you, you'll bend that cooler line and destroy it trying to get it out. So always jack your tranny up high like that, get your cooler lines out, let it back down real slowly. Come up here and grab the tranny, take the tranny out. Ooh, what happened? Are you kidding me? What is all of this stuff, Trent? Oh my gosh.
I think that's what we ordered.
Is this what the doctor ordered?
This is what the doctor ordered.
Man, I told you guys something was coming in today.
Ooh, there's that 90 degree.
Oh,
290 degrees.
290 degrees. Wow.
Sweet. About time, huh? Thank you, Robert.
Appreciate you definitely. I was needing to use this a minute ago. I was waiting for it.
Awesome.
Man. Okay. You know what's going in the next video, guys. So I just about got this out. Let's knock this thing out real quick. Got our 15 here. We got our jack up here where it needs to be. Let's get this thing out. Oh, the top bolt up here. Uno number 1. It always falls over here somewhere. It's always going to hit the floor. Just put it over here where Trent knows where it's at. Come over here, grab the other 2. Gotta make sure you get the dipstick tube out of the way because it's hard to get the socket on there because it tries to keep getting in the way. Got these 2 bell housing bolts out. Put them over there where Trent knows where they are. Now we're going to come over and get these 3. This top one where these fuel lines and stuff are, you're still going to have to lift it up and get it out of the way. That way you can get your socket on the studded bolt. Gravity is a transmission's guy's worst nightmare. But anyway, we got to just keep on going. Okay, now the tranny's completely unbolted from the motor. We put these bolts over here where Trent knows where they're at. Gonna look for the other one. Okay, yep. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna just look at everything, make sure everything's disconnected. Go all the way around it. Nothing in a bind. Okay. Oops. Now it's ready to come off. Now, like I say, some of these guys, let me tell you, if they've never been off, they are a bear to get up. You can see how tight that is. I'm telling you, they are terrible. Well, I tell you, I got one here. Hey, Trent.
Yes, sir.
You gonna help me get this off the back of this motor?
Sure will.
Because this thing is stuck. You want to try that side? I already got it to move just a little bit on this side.
Oh, rust bucket
Tell
on the pins.
Can you get behind that side or grab your bar?
Oh, yeah, let me go grab my bar.
Yeah, you can bend yours to get behind that side. I can't get behind it on this side.
Got our covers. Okay. That one has definitely never been off.
No.
Looking good over here.
Hey. Yeah.
You
Oh, this thing's bad.
know,
But there you go, guys. You see what it takes sometimes to get these things out, even at the shop. I mean, 2 6-foot pry bars and me and Trent just pulling on it. So could you imagine trying to do that at home? But we're fixing to get this thing tore down real quick. So next video to come. Y'all stay tuned.